for boring. Where you can feast with the nectar of the gods. You'll always have a seat at Norse Hall.
Welcome everybody to Top Dog Coverage, where you find the best news coverage, the best scouting people in the world for fantasy football, for regular football, NCAA, your schedules, your... What else we got, C-Dub?
Training camp battles, rosters, depth chart analysis. I mean, basically all 9 yards.
Word. So, if you guys do want to follow us, because we got a lot going on, and we're going to go through some teams, and we are going to go through some heavy, crazy stuff. So follow us. Top Dog Coverage on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all of it. Okay. If you're listening to Spotify and iTunes, make sure you swipe up 5 stars. Leave your comments. It really helps us with the algorithm. Really helps us with everything that we do. And may I say this? Shout outs to our sponsor, Norse-Hall.com and FGM Label on Instagram for one of the dopest beats that we've had. So if you want some of that hot sauce and mead, go to Norse-Hall.com. You want some of the hot fire beats, go to FGM Label on Instagram. C-Dub, how you feeling, buddy?
Feeling fantabulous, because you know what happens tomorrow? Hall of Fame game, baby.
Yeah, man.
Got Chargers and the Lions duking it out at Tom Benson Stadium up in Ohio.
Yeah, man. Mic check 1 2.
1 2 1 2. 1 2 1 2.
Yeah. Seems a little low today. I don't know.
Guess we got to turn up.
There we go. That sounds good. Sounds better.
There we are.
All right, cool. So, the one thing we always discuss is, how things are going and everything. And because of our listeners, because of you guys, we have reached our first goal of over 100 subscribers on YouTube. So we thank you guys for that. That is something that we can't do it without you guys. Okay.
All love. And you know what? That has created
C-Dub over here to... I don't know if you could see it, but if you look in the back right now, C-Dub has his Top Dog Coverage neon sign. He was great enough to make a very huge commitment and send one to himself. And not only that, I'm going to get my lighting fixed, but going to send one on my end too. So,
yeah. Where my shades at?
Yeah, Jesus is here, my friend. No, you want to...
Blinding me.
No, that's blinding.
Aye. Oh, man.
Yeah, I will get my lighting fixed. Maybe even a new camera. But thank you to everybody who has subscribed, left comments. The people that I think the most right now are Seahawks fans, because they are getting the algorithm in there the most, because they do not like the fact that our take on the Seahawks is what it is. And you know what?
They did not like the season predictions at all.
They did not. And you know what? You're going to have to deal with it. Okay? And that's just what it is. Look, We're not saying we're always right, but we're not new to this football thing. Okay? So
we've seen a thing about a thing,
We've seen a thing or two about a thing or two. So with that said, let's I would say we can maybe possibly dig into some news, baby. Yeah. Whew. So let's start off with the Commanders wide receiver Terry McLaurin reports to camp, and also Trey Hendrickson reports to the Bengals training camp. Now, both of these fine young gentlemen have been holding out for extensions here. So Trey Hendrickson's showdown with the Bengals took another return this evening as the star pass rusher is transforming his holdout into a hold-in, as they would say. So Hendrickson is planning to report to the Bengals camp tomorrow. However, the two sides are not any closer to a deal. Okay, so he's looking for his bag. Well-deserved. I believe it was like 17 and a half. Was it 17 and a half sacks? Something like that?
He's led the league, I think, 2 years in a row in
Yeah.
sacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Terry McLaurin, who held out the first several days of training camp as part of his effort to secure a lucrative extension, has also reported to the team. However, there is no new contract there either. So basically what this does, he also put him, they put him on the active PUP list with an ankle injury. So we'll see how that goes. But basically what this really does is it stops some of the fines. You know what I mean? That's kind of what it does. But for now, and we'll see how all that goes. But for now, that's Terry McLaurin, Trey Hendrickson.
Does that mean that all the people that held out are now in camp? There's no more holdouts out there, right?
I can't answer that, but I don't think so.
Okay. I'm pretty sure those were the two big ones. I don't think anybody else is holding out.
Brought to you by Celsius.
What flavor you got? No free ads, but no. What flavor is that today?
Retro, baby.
Okay, you heard about the little side note. I'll make this quick. You heard about their little scandal thing that happened?
No.
I sent it to you earlier, but actually, so the alcoholic seltzers High Noon accidentally were put into Celsius cans. I don't know how it happened or whatever, but yeah. So there's random like alcoholic High Noon drinks out there for Celsius. I think they said it was specifically the blue raspberry flavor or blue raz, and it's got a silver top when it's supposed to have a black top of the can. So just FYI, public announcement out there.
That might be why somebody was looking at my tops before.
Maybe.
Somebody was trying to look at my top and they were about to tell me something. I was like, why are you looking at my top? Yeah. and then they left and I was like, what the fuck are they looking at? All right, well, whatever.
Just so the more you know.
The more you know. All right. And
you got the
you want to take us on to some more news?
Yeah. So the Cowboys got the big time contract extension done for one of their star players. Tight end Jake Ferguson agreed to a 4-year, $52 million extension per Ian Rappaport of NFL.com. The deal also features $30 million in guarantees with a $12 million signing bonus. So I know we talked about it a couple times on the show that CeeDee Lamb is Dak's favorite target, but Dak also very much loves to throw to the tight ends. So this is a great deal for Jake Ferguson. He's only 26. He was drafted in the 4th round of the 2022 NFL draft. And he's been fairly good once he took over the tight end role from Dalton Schultz. He's kind of just been that safety blanket, that guy that can kind of get the first down when you need it. He knows how to get open. So great deal for a really solid upcoming young player.
Yeah, absolutely. Well deserved. Good tight end. And moving over to, you guys might not believe this, but we're gonna give it to you. Chargers. Rashawn Slater agreed to an extension. So Mike Florio of the NBC Sports delivered some details on Slater's new record-setting contract. Of the $92 million in guaranteed money, $29 million comes in form of the signing bonus. His base salary in 2025 is $2 million, and 2026 is $11 million, are fully guaranteed, as are the $7 million roster bonuses in each year. His base salary for the remaining years are $26 million in 2017, guaranteed for injury at signing, and fully guaranteed in March 2026. Then you have $23.29 million in 2028 and $10 million guaranteed for injury at signing and fully guaranteed in March 2027. And then $20 $5.75 million in 2029. He can also receive a $7 million roster bonus in 2029, giving Los Angeles incentive to let him play out the final year of his deal. So congrats to Slater for getting the bag, being the most paid, and he's been there a while, so good for him.
Absolutely. That's a great deal. So I think we're gonna have a common theme with a lot of these news. I think a lot of teams are just giving out bags of cash this week. So the Indianapolis Colts agreed to terms on a 4-year, $100 million extension with their left tackle Bernard Raymond, according to first reported by Mike Garafolo at a NFL Network. So this actually makes him the 6th highest paid offensive lineman, tied with Laramie Tunsil and Lane Johnson. So it includes $60 million in guarantees, which is the second most amongst all offensive linemen. So I know they were working on a deal, and the Rashawn Slater deal actually helped them get across the line there. So great little extension for a young up and coming tackle too. Another 2022 NFL draft pick, 3rd rounder for the Colts.
Yeah, man.
Paying the offensive lineman, getting the deals done.
Yeah, that's what's going on, man. That's what they're doing. Hey, you need an offensive lineman. I'll tell you that right now. It's something that you need. Let's go to the Titans.
What's going on in
Tennessee? Treylon Burks. What?
I said, what's going on in Tennessee?
So the Titans waive wide receiver Treylon Burks. So Burks cleared waivers and heads to the Titans IR list on the 29th. And then, an injury settlement removing Burks from the IR will be likely next course of action. That would lead him to free agency. So basically what's going on, this move has come with an injury designation, which becomes no surprise given that the broken collarbone Burks recently suffered in training camp. Injuries have plagued the 25-year-old throughout his brief NFL tenure, which began when Tennessee selected him with the number 18 pick in the 2022 draft. The selection was acquired by dealing A.J. Brown to the Eagles. Basically, they thought that this was going to be the new A.J. Brown, the new wide receiver 1 over there. And you know what? Look, sometimes it just doesn't work out. So when everybody is high on these players, it's great. It's awesome. You know what I mean? You love a guy, but sometimes it just doesn't pan out. And this is exactly what happened with Treylon Burks. So
it wasn't that whole deal with sending A.J. Brown to Philadelphia and selecting Treylon Burks. Isn't that what kind of did the whole Vrabel separation with Tennessee? Like shortly after that, they kind of just split.
Yeah, he kind of left him with no weapons. Yeah, the only guy he had there was really Derrick Henry at that point. It's, you take away the weapons, they were NFL playoff contenders. You know what I mean? And after that, they weren't. If we're going to be real with it, so it just seems like, I don't know, that as a GM, you take a swing, and sometimes it lands, and sometimes it doesn't. This one just didn't.
Yeah, that's how it goes. So. This next piece of news, I am going to go to the Denver Broncos. So this was first reported by the NFL insiders, Tom Pelissero, Ian Rappaport, and Mike Garafolo of the NFL Network. The Denver Broncos and Cortland Sutton, receiver at SMU, agreed to a 4-year contract extension. So the new deal is worth $92 million. It ensures that he will not be a free agent coming up and keeps him assigned with the teams with the 2029 NFL season. It also contains $41 million in guarantees, including $27 million in new locked-in compensation for this season. So they have locked in their number 1 receiver. 29-year-old is due to collect $14 million in a signing bonus in 2025. So its extension is going to kind of tie him in terms of 18th overall in terms of receivers, and ties him with Calvin Ridley, receiver of the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
So Denver Broncos got their receiver 1 locked up.
Word. There you go. Good old Denver. Sutton is, look, let's give him Sutton to talk about, okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, in other news, the Seahawks to extend their GM John Schneider, okay? The Seahawks fans, come back to us, okay? Look, I know you're not fans of us right now, but here you go. A little good news, okay? So the Seahawks moved John Snyder to the top of their personnel pyramid in 2024, firing Pete Carroll and giving their GM final say. A year later, the team is extending its longtime front office boss. So Schneider and the Seahawks have agreed on a 4-year extension. The new deal will push Schneider's contract through 2030. And Schneider has been in place as a Seattle GM since 2010, where to finish out his contract, the Super Bowl winning decision maker would become one of the longest tenured GMs in NFL history. So, you know what? Good for him. John Snyder, Seahawks, got something to look forward to. A good GM that's going to continue to make good decisions. Among pure GMs in the league today, Schneider already sits second behind only the Saints' Mickey Loomis in terms of longevity. So good job, Seahawks. Way to lock down your GM. When you have a good one and they're making good picks and good choices, you'll want to lock them down.
Absolutely. And I think with the last piece of news comes out of Baltimore. So the Ravens tight end Isaiah Likely has a small fracture in his foot, which will sideline him for about 6 weeks. So he was going to undergo a surgery to fix the fracture. So if everything goes well, it stays on schedule, he should return early into the regular season. And he has not been ruled out for week 1 against the Buffalo Bills in the season opener.
He's a talented young man, too.
25 years old, is entering the final year of his rookie contract. And I believe last season when he played the Chiefs, he had that huge breakout game. And Mark Andrews was disappeared for a little bit. Then he came back on strong.
Yeah, he was on point, too, on that first game, too. He was very much on point. I mean, everybody thought Mark Andrews was just, like, done for it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So, there is one more that I have, and there's a lot of news. This is what happens, man. We got a lot of news to talk about. So, let's talk about the Colts. Bernard Raymond agreed to an extension. The Colts are locking down the left tackle Bernard Raymond with a 4-year, $100 million extension. The deal is now official per a team announcement. Okay, so Raymond...
we already covered that.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'll let the people know about Bernard Raymond being tied with Laramie Tunsil.
Ah, you did. Yes, you did. That's what happens when there's so much news. But let's go over one other thing. Oh, was it Cater Cohow? Sorry, I can never say his name correct. From the Dolphins, a partial ACL tear during the training camp practice has ended his 2025 season before it even began. This injury has left the Dolphins with a depleted secondary. So Ashton Davis actually somewhat got hurt as well. They just signed him from the Jets from last year, and they traded away one of their players. They have almost nobody from their secondary anymore. I think they have 3 or 4 people now.
Yeah, so according to Adam Scheffler, the Dolphins' starting secondary from last season is now gone. So Jalen Ramsey's been traded. Kendall Fuller was released. Cater Cohow is out for the season. Javon Holland left in free agency a couple seasons ago, or I think last year. And then Jordan Poyer is still a free agent. So,
wow. Well, in case you guys wanted to hear more news twice, I mean, you got it. So you're welcome. That's how we get over 100 subscribers.
It's facts.
So make sure you hit the like button, the subscribe button, because now we're going to push to 250. Okay. We have to push and push and push until we can get as many as we can, because that's how we get monetized, and that's how we keep on bringing this goodness to you. So with that being said, C-Dub, are you ready?
Stay ready.
Okay, because it's time for the Wheel of Destiny, baby. So let's bring the Wheel of Destiny up, okay? we got the Wheel of Destiny coming, and you already know what happens with the Wheel of Destiny, my friend. Okay. So what we're going to be doing
Take the
is we're going
wheel.
to be picking an NFC team and an AFC team to go over the training camp battles, and we're going to figure this out, and then we're going to go over their schedule. And so far, it has been hell, and we've only done it once. So we're going to have people love us, we're going to have people hate us. But right now, we're going to go into the AFC, and we're going to go for a little spin. What do you say?
And we will get our Patriots one up soon. We'll figure that part out. But yeah.
Yeah, we're going to figure that out. So, all right, let's do this. There we go.
Ooh, brownies.
Yeah, the brownies. Okay. And then we will do. All right. We do NFC.
Yep. Let's get it. Oh, Detroit.
Detroit. So the Browns and Detroit. All right. What do you want to start with?
Let's go to the Browns. Let's start. Let's start in the AFC. Let's go.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Because there's a lot going on in Cleveland.
There certainly is, my friend. There certainly is. They made a lot of moves this year, and take a look at some stuff. So
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
I was like, I mean, we should probably talk about the elephant in the room at the quarterback position, right? I mean, that's got to be the biggest quarterback battle, or that's got to be the biggest training camp battle for this whole team.
I would imagine so. How many quarterbacks do they have?
It's pretty important. I mean, they drafted 2. You had Deshaun Watson, who's had that setback in his Achilles injury. You have Joe Flacco that they signed, and then Kenny Pickett. I believe he got hurt the other day. I think he had a hamstring injury.
Yeah.
So you got 1, 2, 3, 4 guys potentially fighting for the starting job.
Yeah. You got, and not for nothing. For the first time in a long time, this is pretty healthy. I'd rather have this kind of competition than a competition with names that don't matter at all. You know what I mean? At least you have 2 rookies in here. A guy that has thrown the ball, has been in the Super Bowl talk. A guy that's been on another team. Granted, they didn't really want him, but at least you have some names that have actually played ball before, and they're not all people that have not played at all, except for Dylan and Shador. You know what I mean? Like, I get that. Obviously, Watson, I don't know what is going on with that. Like, that was the.
It's pretty unfortunate for them. I mean, they took a big swing and it did not work out in their favor by any means.
Nope.
In terms of like the cap situation, the fully guaranteed contract that started the whole NFL versus NFLPA thing that recently the 2 guys that just recently retired or resigned and whatnot. So I mean, it's created a whole kind of ripple effect in the NFL, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, if you there are some good camp battles in here, right? And yes, it does start at the QB, right? If you want any sense of fighting for anything, I'm just gonna say this now: just put in Joe Flacco. All right,
Flacco's got to be the guy if they want to be serious about winning.
Yeah, and you know what? With that comes, and I'll just go over to fantasy for a second. Anybody that's going to pick Njoku in fantasy football this year, only pick him, and this is just my take, okay? This doesn't mean it's right. Only take Njoku if Flacco's in. If Flacco's not in, it is a huge question mark, okay? Flacco loves his tight ends, okay? He really does. But other than that, I'm out on Njoku, but I mean, also I've been hearing really good stuff about Fannin Jr. coming in there doing really, really good things. Heard his blocking is impeccable. So, I mean, I guess we'll find out how that's going to go, having 2 really, really good tight ends in that backfield and how they can, line up and get things going over there. But I mean, not for nothing, they did have some pretty good picks this year. You're talking that's just that's just on the offensive side of the ball, right? If we were to look at just the wide receivers, C-Dub, right? Name wise, it doesn't look bad at all. Is it going to turn out the way we think it is? Absolutely not. But if you look at that, who are the starting 3 wide receivers?
Right now, you have Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman, and Deontay Johnson.
Okay. I wouldn't mind that if Deontay Johnson wasn't so immature. The guy can ball. We've seen this.
I think this is probably his last opportunity to actually stick to a team. So,
yeah,
you think you could probably get the best version of him, but we'll see. Because they also have DeAndre Carter, the kind of journeyman who's been with Chicago, Los Angeles, a bunch of different teams. Been more of a returner, but he plays that slot receiver as well. So he's kind of got the work ethic and the attitude you would want Deontay Johnson to have. But I mean, we'll see. I think the receiver core has pretty good potential. Cedric Tillman missed a lot of games last year, so due to injury. But I mean, we'll see. They have a lot of undrafted free agents at receivers.
Yeah.
So, but I think, I mean, with Coach Stefanski, his biggest thing for offense is it going through the run game. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't have that necessary bell cow with Nick Chubb down in Houston now. So now you have a backfield that has Jerome Ford, Quinshon Judkins whenever he figures out his legal situation, getting his contract signed. And then you also have Dylan Sampson, who they took in the 4th round from Tennessee, and Pierre Strong Jr. So you have a bunch of different running backs in this room. So it'd be really interesting in terms of real life and fantasy, who's going to become that lead bell cow for the Browns? Who's going to take some of that pressure off whoever starts at quarterback, right? Because you don't want to have them chunking it every single down. You got to be able to have a sustained run game. They have a pretty decent offensive line, so who's going to be that big bell cow?
It's not like the Browns are not competitive, because I think the Browns have been thrown around in the mud for so long that it kind of makes them look like they're not a team that is able to win games. They're not a team that's able to do X, Y, and Z. They have talent on this roster. They really do. They have a great coach, by the way.
2-time coach of the year.
Dude, he's a great coach. And I think if Judkins gets it together, they'll have a solid run game. They have a decent offensive line. If you have Joe Flacco coming in there and just moving the chains, they will keep these games in there. Do I think they're going to win a lot of games? Probably not. But at the same point, they have a general on the field that can actually push it to where they'll make it competitive. There's a lot of young talent on this team. You know, you have young quarterbacks in here. Shedeur Sanders is there. Dylan is there. You know, you still have Kenny Pickett over there. You know, yes, the depth is there, but let the dude finish out what he's trying to teach these kids. What's got to happen on this team with this offensive line, with this new running back, with these 2 new running backs, with these guys that can still catch the ball, with this tight end Njoku, Fannin Jr. You know what I mean? Like, let's not forget. Let's go to the other side of the ball for a second. Oh, we got Myles Garrett teamed up with Mason Graham now. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, and you got Jim Schwartz still returning, running that defense. So I think the Martin Emerson Jr. injury, I think he tore his Achilles, hurts a lot for the secondary, but they still got a lot of talent. I mean, I think you still have Greg Newsome the second. You have Cameron Mitchell playing the nickel spot. You also have Denzel Ward still there.
Yeah.
So you got a really good secondary. You're going to have to rely on that defense, that pass rush, like you said, Mason Graham paired up with Myles Garrett. Who's going to be the running mate on the other edge? Is it going to be Isaiah McGuire over there? I don't know.
I believe it is going to be yes. Yeah. Left side. Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, you got to rely on that front 4, right? So not only to stop, to pass rush and whatnot, but you got to stop the run. But I think this defense is going to be the strength of the team. The offense kind of worries me. I mean, Flacco is going to be what, 40, 39,
Yeah.
something like that. So can you really rely on him for 17 games? I don't know.
Hard,
Right.
hard to say yes.
Right. So I don't know. I think this defense has a lot of potential. I mean, they made some noise. Was it 2 seasons ago? Last year they're kind of up and down. So
And look, I'll be honest with you. They also drafted Carson Swessinger in the second round too. So they made their 2 picks. First, second. They did defensive tackle and middle linebacker. Look, they're trying to get younger. They're trying to get these new guys coming up and ready to go. So, and not for nothing, they had 2 second-round picks. They had 2 third-round picks. You know what I mean? Like, so they did their due diligence in picking these guys and making sure that they're coming up. So I believe that there's camp battles all around this. You know what I mean? That like it's almost like, who wants it? You guys really want it? Prove it to us.
yeah, it'd be really interesting to see how they do. Because also, depending on however they do for the season, they still own that first round pick for Jacksonville for the Travis Hunter trade. So they're going to be big players in next year's draft as well. So
Yeah, you know what? Hasn't that been the one thing the Browns have always done? Pick a quarterback. They've picked a quarterback how many years now?
I mean, they picked it a lot. They haven't really gotten it right. They had a chance with Baker, and then they kind of sold their soul for Deshaun. So
True story. I was at a Browns Jets game years ago, and this one kid had a jersey that had a name that went all the way down to the end of his jersey. It's just names that were crossed out all the way
yeah,
down. They were all
Brown jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, it is what it is. But I mean, other than that, the defense, the offense, it's look, you have the veterans right here that still have talent, and then you have the rookies right behind them ready to rock and roll. So what they do, I think Stefanski has his imprint on this, and it's not a bad one. It's just, hey, we have these guys ready to go, but they're not quite ready to go yet. So like, we're gonna keep these veterans here. We're gonna have these rookies behind them, ready to learn, ready to progress, and then when it's time to put them in, I believe he will do it timingly and in the right way to do it. So
Yeah. For sure.
but with that, should we go over the Browns' schedule?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm kind of scared about this.
Well, but you gotta let me know when he puts in the rookies. When they're ready, when they're seasoned.
When they're seasoned. Okay. All right. Let's do this. Okay. Whew. So hold your horses right now, because now we're going to go over the Browns' schedule. We're going to start with
No
week
pressure.
1.
I said no pressure.
No pressure. Week 1, I believe that the Browns are going to be taking a visit from the Bengals at home. They're going to be at home, and I think the Bengals, just right off the bat, they're just going to take it. They're going to take this W. Okay, I know they're at home, but look, the Bengals are the Bengals. So I say I have the Browns taking an L week 1. Week 2, they go over to Baltimore. Look, I think actually this is going to be a close game. Sounds weird to say that, but I think Flacco is still in the driver's seat. But I still think that they take another L. They're going to start 0-2. I'm going to give it to the Ravens. I think they host the Green Bay Packers here. You know what? People are going to think that I'm a little nuts, a little wild here. I'm actually going to take the Browns at home against Green Bay. I think there's going to be a little rust here, and I'm going to give them their first win at home here. Week 4, I think the Lions are going to be hosting the Browns, and the Lions are going to kind of make it a little easy here, and they're going to be taking a win there. So I also think that week 5, the Vikings are coming to the Browns. And I actually believe that the Browns are going to take a W at home. I think they might find a way to rattle the rookie, J.J. McCarthy, semi-rookie, okay? But I think they're going to take a W at home. Week 6, the Steelers come into town. Actually, the Browns go into the Steelers. And I believe that the Browns are actually going to be losing in Pittsburgh here. So we're going to take Pittsburgh on week 6. Week 7, the Dolphins. I actually believe that the Dolphins coming into a colder area in week 7, I don't think that they're going to be able to handle it. I'm going to give the Browns a win at week 7. Week 8, I actually think this is kind of when everything starts to turn around a little bit. Some new people come in, they go to visit the Patriots, somebody gets a new starting job here in the Browns, and the Patriots take a W, understanding that there is a weakness on the field, and Vrabel does not hesitate to send his men after the offense. So I'm going to give the loss to the Browns. Then they have a bye week 9. Week 10, the Jets hosting the Browns. I believe that the Jets are actually going to take a win at home. I think the Jets are going to be very, very comfortable where they are at week 10, and they're going to take a shot at this new rookie offense by week 10 with the Browns. So the Jets taking a W. Week 11, they're going to be going to... Nope. They're going to be hosting the Ravens. So the Ravens are going to be going to Cleveland. The Ravens are going to take that. I'm hesitant here for a second, actually, to be honest. Because I think they're not. No, I'm not going to double think this. I think they're going to take a loss at home. I'm thinking here, but
yeah.
Okay. And I also think that the week 12, the Raiders are going to be hosting the Browns, and they're going to be. I think the Raiders kind of flip flop here. Okay, something happens. I don't think they're going to be on their A game. This is going to be one of those weird little tricky situations, and I think the Browns take a W on the road here. Okay, week 13, the San Francisco come to Cleveland, and San Francisco takes a W on the road, and the Browns take a loss. So I'm going to go San Francisco. I think the Titans also visit the Cleveland Browns, and the Titans are actually going to take a loss, and the Cleveland Browns are going to take a W. Okay, so I also believe that week 15, Chicago Bears are going to be hosting the Cleveland Browns. I think the Bears are going to have a little bit more taste for blood than people think, and I believe they are going to take a W against the Browns here. So the Browns take an L. Week 16, Cleveland is hosting the Bills, and the Bills are going to show no mercy here. Okay, they're going to come in, they're going to do what they do best, and they're going to leave, and they're going to take a W. We're going to take the Bills. Week 17, Steelers, again, going against another division rival. People are going to hate me for this, but week 17, week 18, doesn't matter where you're going, you're going to be losing against your division rivals. I'm going to take the Steelers in week 17, and hosting the Browns are the Cincinnati Bengals week 18, and I'm going to give the loss to the Browns again, with the Bengals finishing up with 4 losses in a row, ending the season with a 5-12 season. So 5-12, that's what I have the Cleveland Browns.
So you just hate Cleveland?
Huh?
You just hate Cleveland then, huh?
It's hard to wrap my head around it here.
Oh, I'm just messing with you. That's fine.
Yeah.
Cleveland hates itself.
I do think that there's going to be some wonky stuff that's going to be happening here. So
Yeah.
I do think that they will take a weird win here or there, and I just don't understand what it's going to be yet. But I do think that something odd is going to happen. So I had a little brain fart in the middle of that because I was like, I kind of think that something's going to happen. It's not.
I don't know where you went there for a second, but hey, you found your way back. You followed the breadcrumbs. It was good.
I tried.
That's great.
Oh man. Okay, so moving on
to Detroit.
Detroit, baby. All right.
Detroit Lions.
Right.
Lions fans gotta be happy right now. I mean,
I don't know, man. They lost 7 coaches.
What, they still can't be happy?
I would be confused. I would be nervous on losing 7 coaches. That's a lot. I mean, sometimes when you lose your offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator, you're like, oh, we'll figure out how it goes, right? And that's fine. But 7 coaches?
I don't know. I mean, they got some familiarity. I mean, Kelvin Shepard's the new DC.
Mm-hmm.
I think John Morton's kind of I think he's been there, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Uh,
he's been around the league as like he's done a lot in a lot of different offenses,
Yeah,
passing coordinator, a lot of wide receivers
yeah,
coach, all that
yeah.
stuff.
Coaches move and change all the time. It'd be fine.
They do. All right, so who are you looking at here? Who are you thinking? What do you like in this
So, you talking
battle?
about for training camp
Yeah,
battles?
yeah.
Detroit, I don't think they're gonna have too many.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really, it's gonna be about them getting healthy. They had so many injuries last year, so many people on the injury reserve. So I think we talked about it earlier, but Aiden Hutchinson, making sure he comes back fully strong. But you still are dealing with a lot of injuries with Makai Wingo, Josh Pascal, Malcolm Rodriguez, Ali McNeil, Khalil Dorsey, Taylor Decker, Miles Frazier. I mean, you got a ton of injuries right now, but the biggest key in terms of the training camp battle that I'm looking at is who's going to take over center from Frank Ragnow after he retired. I think our lads has Graham Glasgow penciled in there right now.
Mm-hmm.
And do they put Tate Ratledge at center? Because I know he did a little bit of work there as well during the draft process.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one that really sticks out to me right off the bat. What
Yeah.
do you think? What are you thinking? What do you see?
I see a lot of injuries. That's what I see right now. I see a left tackle injury. I see a depth injury in the left guard. I see a defensive tackle injury. I see the depth injuries at the defensive end and linebackers position and cornerbacks. So it's like these new guys have to kind of really step up and they have to find out whether or not they belong. So like Tyleik Williams has to step in that defensive tackle if McNeil doesn't get back in time, right? So I forget what happened to McNeil. It's a physically unable to perform right now. I don't know
Yeah, he's on
exactly
the
what
he's on
happened.
the pup list. I think it's some sort of. I want to say maybe an ankle injury. I'm not sure.
Yeah, so I mean, look, Tyleik Williams is a big dude. So if he can come up and showcase that he's the one guy, because you got Makai Wingo, um, that's also hurt. You know what I mean? So it's like he's kind of like the only guy right now that's working, and um, everybody else is kind of hurt. So can he prove himself over some of the rookie, not the rookie, but the camp bodies? You know what I mean? I know that doesn't sound very sexy, but like you said, there's not going to be too many different things going on. But right now, he has an opportunity to showcase what he can do. Can he go in there as a starter? And all eyes are on you right now, big guy.
Yeah, I mean
You
he
know?
was their first round pick at Ohio State, so I
Yeah.
think expectations are already going to be high from him. Just
Hmm.
kind of elevate a little bit higher there. But I mean, he was a stud at Ohio State, so I don't see any issue of him coming in, being a disruptive force, and kind of freeing up some of those one-on-one matchups for Aiden Hutchinson or Marcus Davenport. You know
Yeah. I'll tell you what I do like, man.
what you
I
like?
love this. I love this secondary room right now. Over there, Amick Robertson, DJ Reed, Kirby Joseph, Brian Branch, and Terry Arnold. Like, dude,
Yeah,
that is a wild secondary.
it's pretty impressive. I
It
mean,
is,
you had Kirby Joseph. Didn't he lead the league in interceptions last year?
and
Like
just got paid.
7 or 9 or something like that. Yeah, and then you got Terry Arnold coming into a second season, so he'll get better. Brian Branch was a stud too. There's still no reason for him to fall in the second round. I mean, the Lions got a steal for that, but I guess that's what happens when you don't test well. But whatever. And then Amik Robertson in the slot.
You got some studs there, dude. You really got some studs there, and not to mention, you're gonna have Aiden coming back, and you're gonna, you're going to have pressure on the quarterback at this point. So it's going to make those cornerbacks look even better when the quarterback can't throw when he's got all this pressure on him. You know what I mean? They can have a lot of takeaways this year. They really can, just based off of the pressure that they take if everybody's back healthy.
No,
And
yeah,
you know
absolutely.
me and being healthy, okay?
Yeah, injuries and strength of schedule. That
Let's not.
detrimental.
I don't want to overlook this either, though. Um, Jack Campbell. I think he is a tremendous linebacker, dude. I think he's an amazing linebacker. The dude is always shelling out, always showing off. I don't want to say showing off, but he did like his change of direction is amazing. Like the way he has he's very fluid. The way he moves his body, the way he turns his hips, and like when he tested, I was like, "Yo, this dude is an animal. He could stop on a dime, go back into coverage. He can anticipate the run. Like he's a really, really good linebacker, dude."
Yeah, you don't really see too many off-ball linebackers getting drafted in the first round.
No, you don't. And I was wondering where he was going to go when he was getting drafted in 23, but yeah, I don't think there's going to be too much going on here with that. I think basically they're just trying to get everybody on their defense just back normal. You know what I mean? Just back from injury. Who's going to stay healthy? Can they come back at full motor too? That's what you really want to understand as well.
Yeah, can they minimize that impact of losing the coaches like you referenced earlier? I think they got the right leadership to be able to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you still have Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery. You got Dan Campbell. You got Kelvin Shepard, who, like I said, he's been there, former player there too. So I don't know. I think they're in a good, unique spot, but I think they have the right leadership to not miss a beat. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I would like to see if Isaac Tesla will actually take over by the end of the year at a wide receiver position, maybe from Tim Patrick or something like that.
Well, unfortunately, Tim Patrick always has some sort of season-ending injury. I mean, he's torn his ACL like 3 or 4 times, dude.
And it's not like he's not a good. It's not like he's not a good wide receiver.
Solid player, absolutely, but he just injuries derail him. So Tesla could end up getting on the field sooner than later.
You're preaching to the choir, man.
What's their strength of schedule? If they're not high enough, you're not going to draft them.
I'm not drafting him just because he's always hurt. Forget the strength of schedule, okay?
Yeah, I think it's safe to say Tim Patrick is not being drafted in fantasy leagues.
I was excited when Russell Wilson was on the Broncos because he was talking about Tim Patrick, and I was like, yo, you know what? Like, I want to see this happen, and then he goes down. I'm like, well, that ain't gonna happen.
Wait a second, you were excited for Russell Wilson on the Broncos? Ooh, you sick man.
Well, hey, look.
Is that before or after he imploded?
That's way before. Like, why would I be excited for him after he imploded?
I don't know, man. You're a sick individual. I don't know.
I am a sick individual. You know what? I've done worse things. I have done worse things.
Who was Rogers' buddy? That was the head coach, the offensive coordinator that he loved, that got fired after one season before they brought Sean Payton in.
Wait, where?
The guy that was the head coach for Denver before they fired him for the one season when they were trying to get Rodgers and then they didn't get him, so they got Russell Wilson, and it was just the most awful season ever. It was Rodgers' like offensive coordinator that he had a really good relationship with.
Oh, I remember hearing about this. I don't remember who that is, but like
he came over from the Packers. It was something Hackett. Was it Nathaniel Hackett?
Was it Hackett? Oh yeah, Daniel Hackett.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had him as offensive coordinator last year, the Jets.
Yeah, it's because Rodgers wanted him. That's Rodgers' buddy. But
yeah,
I digress. How are we feeling about Jahmyr Gibbs number switch going from 26 to 0?
Do your thing. Do your thing, man. If you're gonna run as hard as you do and gain as many yards as you do, you should be able to pick whatever number you want.
I think the 0 doesn't work for a lot of players, but I think because Gibbs is the type of player that he is, it can work for him.
Fair.
Because he's explosive, playmaker, can catch the ball, scores a lot of touchdowns. If he wasn't doing that, no. You keep the number. You keep 26.
Not for nothing. It works for Braylon Allen. He doesn't score a lot.
Well, he had that number when he got drafted. He chose that number. This is Gibbs after a couple years into his career. He's choosing to change his number.
Yeah, you know what it is. So. I also think he's 6'1" and 235 pounds, so nobody's gonna say anything to him.
Yeah, he's a good player. The only thing that kind of made his draft stock fall was really they had questions about his speed, but also the offense changed at Wisconsin. They
Yeah.
weren't they weren't the normal downhill running scheme like that he's kind of built perfectly for.
Yeah. I'm waiting to see some of these defensive guys picking zero, like defensive tackles. I kind of want to see it, you know?
I don't think Ken Lyman pick single digits numbers. I don't think they
I
can.
thought that you were able to pick anything
I guess
now, but I
I
don't
don't.
know. I don't think anybody
There's
has it
there's
though.
still some rules. I don't know. We'll get to that on a different show. You
I
ready for the
hope
schedule?
everybody goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 across the line.
Terrible.
Yeah, we can go into right. All right, let's go backwards.
Always forwards, my
Line.
friend. Always
All
forward, my
right.
friend.
Start us off, C-Dub. Week 1. Let's go, baby.
All right, week one. Week one, always wonky stuff happens. Everyone's still getting used to the season after the few games in the preseason. So I'm taking the Lions on the road to beat Green Bay. Week two, I am going to take the Lions at home. I think that's going to be a huge, big revenge game for Ben Johnson. I don't think he gets it yet. So I'm going to take the Lions at home. Week three, Lamar Jackson's just out of this world. He's unstoppable. I got to go with the Ravens at home for week three. Week four, we talked about it earlier. We don't think the Browns are going to be a great team. Let's go Lions at home. Week five, this is going to be a pretty big shootout. This was last season. I think this would be the one the Bengals lose. I think here the Bengals actually get the win here. Joe Burrow and company coming, taking the win at home. Week six, the Chiefs and Lions. This is going to be kind of a weird game. Kansas City always finds a way to win. I don't think they do here. I'm going to take the Lions on the road. Week seven, Tampa Bay is visiting the Detroit Lions. Tampa's kind of had Detroit's number over the last couple seasons, so I'm going to take Baker and the Bucks on the road here. Week eight, they have their bye week. Week nine, you have the Minnesota Vikings coming to town to face the Lions. So I'm going to take the Lions. I don't think McCarthy is going to be fully comfortable by then. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. But my personal opinion, I don't think he will. Week 10, Washington versus Detroit. I think Detroit gets their revenge. I don't know if Washington's going to be as good as they were last year. So give me Detroit. Eagles, Lions. Eagles are a powerhouse. It's hard for me to bet against the Super Bowl champs right now, so I'm going to take the Eagles at home. Week 12, I don't think the Giants will be a good team. I don't know who's going to be starting at quarterback. Maybe it's still Russell Wilson. Maybe it's Jackson Dart. Give me the Lions. Week 13, the Packers are visiting the Lions. I believe that isn't that the Thanksgiving game? Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Pretty sure it is. I think they're going to split it, so I am going to go with Green Bay on the road. Week 14, Cowboys versus Lions. Cowboys are going to want their revenge for getting embarrassed at home last season, but I think Detroit is probably the better team right now, so I'm going to take Detroit. Week 15, the Rams at Lions. The Lions at Rams. This one's a tough matchup for me. I'm going to give me LA at home. They have a slight edge since they're at home. Week 16, give me the Lions. I don't think Pittsburgh is going to have as great of a season out there. Week 17, give me the Lions on the road. I still think they're going to be a little bit better team than the Vikings this year. And here, week 18, I think this is where Ben Johnson actually gets his revenge. So I'm going to take the Bears at home.
All right. So looking at a 10-7 with the Lions here.
Yeah, I think they squeak into the playoffs. I don't think they'll be the number one seed, but I do think they still get in.
Okay, that's fair. That's more than fair. Yeah, I could like the tough schedule. You know what I mean? Like it's a very, very tough schedule, and they're gonna have to figure out ways to deal with the difference in the change. You know what I mean? Having their guys back and everything, and that I am looking forward to that Commanders game again. That is going to be a big one. Like they embarrassed them, and I understand that it was because of injury, but they embarrassed them, and they're going to want their revenge. Not only that, they're going to want their revenge in Washington. So
Yeah, I think one of the games that really sticks out to me is the Bucks Lions game. I think that's going to
yeah,
be an offensive showdown. That's going to be a great game, and I do think all the division games are going to be pretty good in my hand. But another one that really sticks out is I think the Cowboys Lions game. I think that's going to come down to the wire as well. I think that'll be another good one.
okay, yeah. So I mean, those are at least two of the teams that we're looking at here is the Browns and the Lions. So, battle camp, camps in there more so the Browns are going to be battling out a couple things. The Lions, look, I think they're just adding to their future right now. They are definitely going to be a team that is going to continue to be a problem. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what it is. They're just going to keep adding to people in the depth chart. That way, when the other people leave, the other people step right up. And apparently they, look, they've had great coaches and stuff like that. So it's, you guys, not for nothing. It's like, you guys want to tell us exactly what you guys think with the schedule predictions and such like that, where, we can only do as much as we know. And, looking at those depth charts and seeing exactly, people are getting hurt right and left now. You know what I mean? So it's like when people go down, some of those games are going to change. You know what I mean? These predictions are going to get wilder and wilder now. So, so it's Lions, wild team, Browns, even wilder. just looking at it. You know what I mean? So
the magic conch has spoken.
Yeah, man.
Two more teams down.
We
have
down.
28 to go.
28 to go. So tomorrow, big day. Football.
Yeah. Hall of Fame game, baby.
Hall of Fame
Tune
game.
in.
So make sure you guys hit the comment, follow. We're going to get to 250 subscribers.
Send us some emails. Send us your hot takes. Tell us how much you loved our predictions or how much you hated it. Let us know.
Let us know. Topdogcoverage@gmail.com. TOPDAWG coverage@gmail.com. And that is it for us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And we out. Peace.